Have you ever noticed how we can hold a broken charger for years, but letting go of a broken relationship feels impossible? Funny, right? We'll throw away old socks without thinking, but one old memory, and suddenly we're emotional philosophers at 2 a.m. Today we're talking about something everyone struggles with, but rarely understands: the psychology of letting go. And no, this is not about be positive or just move on. If it were that easy, nobody would be stuck overthinking in the shower. Letting go sounds simple. 2 words: let go. But the brain treats it like a life-threatening situation because your mind doesn't care whether something is good for you. It only cares whether it's familiar. That's why people stay in toxic friendships, boring jobs, and situations that drain them, not because they're weak, but because the brain prefers known pain over unknown peace. At least pain we understand. Peace? That feels suspicious. Think about it. You know that one person who hurt you, disappointed you, or walked away, but your mind keeps replaying their memories like a Netflix series you didn't even enjoy. That's not love. That's attachment. Psychologically, attachment forms when something once gave us comfort, validation, or a sense of identity. Your brain connects that person or situation with safety, even if it's no longer safe now. Here's the tricky part. When you try to let go, your brain panics. It says, wait, if she loses this, who am I? Because for a long time, that thing became part of your identity, the relationship, the dream, the version of you that existed back then. So letting go doesn't feel like losing something outside. It feels like losing a part of yourself. That's why people say, I don't miss them. I miss who I was with them. Exactly. You're not grieving the person. You're grieving the version of yourself that felt alive, hopeful, or loved during that time. And that grief is very real. Now let's add a little humor, because life needs it. Ever notice how your brain suddenly remembers only the good moments when something ends, the one sweet message, the one good trip, the one time they actually showed effort? Your mind completely deletes the disrespect, the stress, the crying, and the why am I still here moments. Congratulations, you've been fooled by selective memory. Your brain is basically an editor, cutting out the boring and painful scenes. Psychologists call this nostalgia bias. We romanticize the past to avoid facing the uncertainty of the future, because even an unhappy past feels safer than an unknown tomorrow. Another reason letting go is hard: control. Humans hate not having answers. We want closure. We want explanations. We want to know why it ended, why they changed, why it didn't work. But life rarely gives clean endings. And when closure doesn't come from outside, the mind keeps the door open, hoping someday it will. Here's the truth that stings a little. Closure is not something you receive. It's something you decide. Sometimes the explanation is simply that it wasn't meant to last. And that feels unsatisfying, but it's enough. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't matter. It means accepting that something mattered, and it still ended. Both can be true at the same time. Another myth people believe is that letting go means you stop caring. Wrong. You can care deeply and still choose distance. You can love someone and still protect your peace. Letting go is not an emotion. It's a decision you make repeatedly. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days your brain will drag you back. That's normal. Healing isn't a straight line. It's more like Wi-Fi. Sometimes strong, sometimes non-existent, What actually helps letting go is not forcing yourself to be over it, but understanding why you're holding on. Ask yourself honestly, am I holding on to the person or the feeling they once gave me? Am I afraid of being alone or afraid of starting over? Am I missing them or missing familiarity? And here's the most underrated part of letting go: space. Space is uncomfortable at first. Silence feels loud, but space is where your nervous system resets. It's where you remember who you are without constant emotional noise. That's why growth often feels lonely before it feels peaceful. One day, without warning, you'll realize you didn't think about them as much. The memory won't hurt the same, and you won't feel proud or dramatic about it. You'll just feel calm. That's when you know you didn't lose something. You released it. So if you're struggling to let go right now, don't judge yourself. You're not weak. You're human. Your brain learned attachment, and now it's learning freedom. And that takes time. Because letting go isn't about erasing the past. It's about making room for a future that doesn't hurt as much. And maybe, just maybe, the best things in your life haven't arrived yet because your hands are still full.